Most comic book origins rely on an inheritance or a fluke of nature. A billionaire takes over an empire, a student is bitten by a radioactive spider. Scott Lang's story begins in a cell. An electronics technician who couldn't make ends meet, he turned to burglary to keep his family fed, and paid for it with his freedom. After his release, he attempted to go straight, but his world collapsed when his daughter Cassie developed a terminal heart ailment. The only surgeon capable of saving her life was abducted by Darren Cross, a mutated, wealthy industrialist with a god complex. Scott's path to heroism was born from this specific crisis. He didn't suit up to save the world, he returned to a life of crime because it was the only way to save his child. Scott targeted the home of scientist Hank Pym, planning to steal advanced electronics he could pawn for quick cash. Inside, he found something far more complex: Pym's original Ant-Man suit and the shrinking technology that powered it. Using his own electronics expertise to master the unfamiliar gear, Scott infiltrated Darren Cross's compound, defeated the millionaire, and successfully rescued the surgeon. Once Cassie was safe, Scott prepared to return to prison for the theft. Instead, Hank Pym visited him in custody and gifted him the equipment, giving the burglar his blessing to carry on the Ant-Man legacy. This first mission established his pattern: bypass any security system, accept any legal consequence to guarantee his daughter's safety. As this diagram shows, the primary mechanic involves Pym particles. They compress the space between his atoms, shrinking his form while maintaining human strength. The helmet emits a telepathic signal to command ants, and provides breathable air and an electrical charge for defense. Lang transitioned from a lone thief to a high-level operator, serving with the Fantastic Four and the Heroes for Hire, before eventually being recruited into the ranks of the Avengers. He treated the Ant-Man technology as a tool for redemption, using his technical ingenuity to build a heroic career that his daughter could finally look up to. This new life ended abruptly during an attack on the Avengers by an insane Scarlet Witch. Lang was killed in a massive explosion, leaving Cassie to grow up in the shadow of his sacrifice. Grief drove Cassie to follow her father's path. She exposed herself to Pym particles and adopted the persona of Stature, joining the Young Avengers to carry on his mission. Cassie eventually joined a time travel mission to the past, where she found her father moments before his death and pulled him forward into the present day. The loop of sacrifice had reversed. Scott had risked his freedom to give Cassie a future, and in return, Cassie risked the timeline to give her father his life back. The reunion was short-lived. Shortly after returning, Scott watched as Cassie was killed in a confrontation with the international despot, Dr. Doom. Scott channeled his loss into a calculated leadership role, taking command of a replacement Fantastic Four team known as the FF. Lang utilized his history as a burglar to view Doom's empire not as a superpower, but as a system to be dismantled. He led the FF in a precision campaign that stripped away Doom's resources and eventually brought the dictator to his knees. This victory forced a shift in the cosmic balance. During an event where Doom's personality was temporarily inverted, the dictator used his power to resurrect Cassie as closure for their conflict. By treating a global conflict like a high-stakes heist, Lang outmaneuvered a tyrant and successfully reclaimed the life the universe had taken from him. Today, Scott and Cassie are reunited, with Scott running Ant-Man Security Solutions to provide a stable life for his family. He continues to navigate the complexities of his past, managing a staff of former villains while keeping his own inner demons at bay. Scott Lang's record shows that while Pym particles allow him to shrink, his real effectiveness comes from a burglar's eye for weakness and a father's refusal to accept a loss. He proves that a parent with absolutely everything at stake is the most unpredictable variable in any universe.